San Diego Motorsports on KCBQ is sponsored by the Love Radio Network. This is the San Diego Motorsports Show on Intelligent Talk 1170 KCBQ. If it's a car, motorcycle, boat, or anything else with an engine in San Diego, it's on the San Diego Motorsports Show. Now, here's your host, Dave Stahl.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome to the last show of the Big Three block. This is SD Motorsports. I'm Dave, and Cheryl took the night off. So I've got my good friend, Mr. Bagnell is in the house, along with Mr. Chenoweth and their lovely, well, not their lovely wife. I think she only belongs to one of them. I don't, the one that's probably got the most money. Oops, that doesn't count in this room, does it? Because this is a racing family here. And this segment is brought to you by El Cajon Ford, because nobody, absolutely nobody beats you up better than El Cajon Ford. They take very good care of you, get you in the car you want, get you in the price you want. Got the greatest inventory, I'm telling you. They've got Ford just right where they need them, and anything you need, they can take care of you. El Cajon Ford, 619-579-8888. Well, Jacob, my friend, how you doing tonight?
Good. Very good, David.
Still looking for money?
You're always looking for money.
All right. And we brought, I forgot your first name was?
Randy.
Randy. Why would
Randy Chenoweth, yeah.
I should just write this down, you know, like a good person, a radio hosties as I am. And then, of course, where's the other half of the Bagnell clan?
Well, he couldn't make it tonight. He was up here early this morning.
Yeah, and he figured, that's it. I'm only doing this once. I'm not doing it. It's in my contract. No, I'm only kidding. But the reason we've got Randy and Jake in the house is they have teamed up and put a proposal together to go out and run Bonneville. And if you got a chance to see KUSI a couple of weeks ago, or last Sunday, I think it was, you can just go to Google and put Dave Stahl, and then click on YouTube, and then just scroll down. You'll see the video on it. But I was thinking about this after we had done this segment, and because I've always known you, as being the instructor at Santana High School, to put together one of the best auto shops programs in the county. I mean, you know that as well as I do. Now retired. But you went from drag cars to motorcycles. Was that something you were always into? Did you go back to it, or was this just an easier way to?
I had when I was a kid, probably about 9 or 10 years old, I put a Hodaka motor in a Tohatsu frame, and
okay.
I mean, I've been doing this ever since I was little.
So you started basically in the motorcycle community. I mean, as far as playing around and going quick.
Yeah.
And the four wheels came from what? Being an instructor at Santana.
Well, that, and then my relationship with Al Gerald when I was a kid. I worked at Gerald's from probably the time I was in junior high school till I graduated from college.
Okay. That's Gerald's Mufflers, right?
Yeah. It used to be a speed shop.
Right, back in the day.
Yeah.
Very well known, too, I might add. So now you've decided that, how long ago did you take on this motorcycle project, or this one?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly new.
Fairly new.
And you've done quite well considering. But if folks wanted to see a picture of it, where would they go?
Go to BAGGO, BAGGO Racing, all one word, .com.
Okay, so you can take a look at it, because I really want to talk about, because this motorcycle is not anything you can go down and buy.
No, you can't buy any parts at all for this bike.
Because you've built basically this whole thing. See, I have this thing, okay, and you have it, I don't. I can tell you right now, like if I was to close my eyes and picture something I would like to have built, all I see is a black wall. See, where you can close your eyes and you take a look and you can see exactly what you need. Like you probably could have seen that bike before it was built, right?
Exactly.
See, I'm out of film. I don't know what. The film's gone. I have not, because I can't do that. Now, Randy, let me ask you. Now, you are of a wrench,
Yes.
Pretty much. Do you have film in your camera, in your head? Because I don't.
As we were building the bike, I kind of knew what we were going for, but it was Jake's idea, and I kind of followed along. And
okay.
Every time we went down, like when we were having the body made, I walked in the shop and seeing it in raw aluminum, I was like, I don't like it. But once we got it anodized and we got it all together, I love the thing now.
It's got a really unique front fender. I guess if you were to pick out anything unique about the bike, now, I mean, the gas tank's gorgeous, the seat, everything's all molded, but what is up with that front fender? I mean, was that just I mean, I know you don't have the money to go to a wind tunnel, and I know you don't have enough friends to blow on it hard enough to tell if where there's any aerodynamics. Well, there's a couple of us guys that probably would have done a great job. What is up with that front fender? Where did that come from, that design?
Well, first thing you have to do is go to the rule book at Bonneville. And it's 270 degrees front to back. It's, I believe it's 7 inches from the axle center to the front lowest point. And then they have a distance no more than, I think it's 1.5 inches from the tire to the outmost point of the fender.
Now, so you've got the front fender. Did it just sort of flow? I mean, did you finish the fender, now it's time to go to the gas tank, and you just kept molding it as it went to the tail?
Basically, the gas tank, I just basically copied the design off the stock gas tank. I wanted it to match the frame, and that frame has a wide loop because of the wide motor. And so that gave it that Coke bottle effect.
Yeah, back to the Coke bottle again.
Yeah, and then where you sit, I narrowed that frame 3 inches.
Right.
And I've got to give a lot of credit to Larry Storch. He used to own Unique Metals products, and I've known Larry all my life.
Right.
And he helped us out a lot. He's the one that did the fabrication.
Okay.
On the body, yeah.
Yeah, on the body. Well, and it's hard to imagine 3 guys could see the same thing and come out with pretty much what all 3 of you were looking for.
Yeah.
Or as close as you could possibly get, because you probably didn't really know what you were looking for until you got there.
Well, the fender, I have still the drawings of the fender, the tank.
Who did the drawing? Did you draw?
Yeah, and most of the body I designed. Larry Storch did the back end of the body.
Okay. Interesting. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more with BAGGO Racing. Go to baggoracing.com, BAGGO.com. Hey, check out the website. They're always looking for help, sponsors, everything from a penny to a million. They'll take it all. Right here on SC Motorsports. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to KCBQ AM 1170 Intelligent Talk Radio.
Intelligent Talk, 1170 KCBQ, San Diego.
All right, folks, hey, welcome back. Heaven forbid, Jumpin' Jack's in the house. So take the kids, lock them up, put cotton in the cat's ears. But, hey, this segment's brought to you by Barona Circle Track. They're off right now, but when they get fired back up again, you need to go up. It's nothing worse than having a racetrack closed down. And the reason they close down is because you aren't putting your butt in the seat. BoronaSpeedway.com. Make sure you get on the schedule. Make sure you find out when all the fun is. You can go out there with your family. You can take food. You can take a couple beers if you want. You can take a motorhome. They don't even care if, as long as it's self-contained. Go out there, have some fun. And it's like $10 to get in. Come on, it's just like Cone Speedway. You know where that went. 1750 Wildcat Canyon Road, Lakeside, California, 619-669-1303. Sitting in the house talking to Jacob Bagnell and Randy Chenoweth. They are just a few of the people behind BAGGO Racing. BAGGO Racing is a motorcycle that is about as unique as you're probably going to find. It's all hand-built. And it's set up to run in which class?
We run, 500 cc's. It's a modified pushrod blown gas class.
Okay. And the top speeds or the speeds you're trying to break are in the what
anything
range?
Over 127.
Okay, so anything over 127. The last time you had it out, you missed it just by a smidge.
A thousandth of a mile per hour.
That had to just make you gnaw on the steering wheel for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we tried everything we think of to get that other 10.
Did you yell boo to the driver, when he went by?
It was great to be there. I mean, it was our first trip with a bike to Bonneville. To be that close was great. Disappointing, yes, but it was, hey, we're there, because a lot of people laughed at us.
So that's why you drag him with you? Is this why you drag him with you, the ultimate optimist?
Yeah.
All right, I came in second. Yay.
Randy does a lot of work. I'm really happy that he's...
Well, you can tell he likes doing what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. anything involving racing, so I'm there.
And I love Randy goes, yeah, well, I just work on it a little bit, I tinker here and I tinker there. I got a sneaky feeling he probably does a lot more than what he's saying. But
Yeah, because I'm the only guy big enough that he could find who could help him get the bike in and out of the truck.
Well, yeah. And we've seen his kid. I mean, that kid doesn't weigh nothing, so that's not going to work.
That's why he's the rider. If you put me on the bike, we'd only go like 5 miles an hour.
I know. I think we're starting to see Jacob Jr. He's kind of like these guys, where they fly in, in their private jet.
Oh,
they
he's
get into
Mr. Hollywood. No.
Yeah, get in their leather suits.
Jacob Jr.'s great.
All right, we'll just call him Hollywood anyway. We'll just embarrass the heck out of him. But and going by with what we're just talking about, folks, Jake and Randy have got Jake Jr. on the buggy, and he seems extremely excited about being on that bike. So you don't have to worry about motivating him. It doesn't look like.
No, he's the one that got me to build it to start with.
Is he the one that got you? And he's built perfectly for what you're doing. I don't think you could have built a kid any better for land speed attempt. He's good shape. He's not overweight by any stretch.
No, he works out.
Yeah, he's about the right height.
Exactly.
Maybe just a hair taller than what you would probably want, but it looks like he fits the bike.
He
perfectly.
does real well.
And he's fearless. Is he fearless?
I told him before Bonneville, I said, if you have any, don't do this for me, do it for you.
Yeah, there you go. So don't.
And because we can always come back next year if you don't feel you can make it. And we had a father-son talk about it.
Yeah. Well, because don't you find, either both of you can chime in on this, but don't you find when people go to Bonneville or Lake El Mirage, I don't care where they go, where their performance is put on the line, that sometimes kids and seniors will drive a tad over their limit just because they have to. They want it so bad, exactly. And that's where they end. And that's where they end up in trouble. I think if you find a kid like yours, that because he would have already gone over the line if he would have been that way, and he didn't. He was short by just a smidge. I doubt very seriously if it was his fault. He probably had the thing totally wide open, and there was nothing left. At that point, it's Randy's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Blame it all on me.
What did you leave? What did you forget? Did you put a piston in there sideways or something?
I left that anchor in the.
Happens all the time. But
trunk.
But talking to Jacob Jr., he's good attitude, very positive. Wasn't happy about not getting the record, but he's probably about ready to go back like you are.
Yeah, he really wants to. He wants it so bad he can taste it.
Yeah, and that's what you need in a rider.
Exactly.
You need that in a rider, but. We talk about this all the time, and people know when I bring people on, the biggest thing is advertisers, finding people that are willing to help, put your program on. And we're not even talking, when he told me $4,000, I mean, heck, I've seen people ask for that for tires.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy what some people spend on racing, and what we're asking for is.
Yeah, but if you guys actually got paid for what you did, you'd be up in the 6 digits yourself.
Oh, yeah, easy.
I mean, when you pay the labor and if you had all the access, but you don't. You guys are, and I think that's what makes Bonneville so unique.
Yeah, because there's no money.
It's all grassroots.
There's no money in it.
No.
It's all for the love of the sport.
Right.
It's one of the last actual amateur motorsports still left around.
That's right.
And like I say, at the end of the day, you'll be the fastest man in the world. What do you get? A trophy.
That's right. And it's not even a nice trophy. I mean, it's an okay trophy.
Oh, I'd take it.
Well, are you kidding? I still want a 200-mile-an-hour hat.
Yeah.
And then you ruined my day and said, I just going 200 ain't going to do it. I got to break 15 records and
you
smack
break
somebody
a record,
or something.
You can't just go 200.
I'll make up my own record, a Dave Stahl record. But so going back to it now, you guys, I know you guys are still looking for sponsors, and then all you got to do is go to BAGGORacing.com, BAGGO racing.com. Check it out. But what are you guys going to do next? Or it's in April or August?
August, second week of August.
Yeah.
What have you got? What do you think you can do this time differently than last time to gain that?
We started off, first of all, we installed 650 injectors in it.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of done certain things to fool the computer a little bit more. We've changed some things on the turbo and the intake. I had a young man in class, Tim Lawrence. He owns Tim Lawrence Fabrication in Lakeside, and he helped me fabricate a stainless steel header for it.
Oh, yeah, that bullet nose.
No. Well,
an actual header. Okay.
Yeah,
an exhaust header.
manifold.
So you think that's going to gain you?
All we need is the thousands.
It'll give us
We've done more than
horsepower.
that. We've changed on the back end. We've changed oils and things on the brakes for less drag, and
right.
so
Yeah,
there's been.
You don't need no stinking brakes, son. Just get on that.
You know,
thing, right?
we wouldn't run them, but they make it.
Yeah, I was going to say, last thing I want to touch is the brakes.
Exactly.
I had an opportunity to go out to the air base in El Centro with brand new Jaguar XKF S's, and we went from 0 to 170 and 170 back to 0. And 0 to 170 was walking the park. That's that 170 back to 0 that would get your attention.
Exactly.
So I could see where even at 125 miles an hour on a motorcycle on salt. No. But, so you think you've made, and you're probably just trying to make more modifications just for a better chance of breaking this record.
Well, I don't want to, whatever we do, we don't want to go in the wrong direction.
Which you could.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're doing little by little by little.
Are you doing any tests? Are you able to get any seat time on the bike between now and then?
What we do is just out of the top of our head, and away we go.
Yeah, we show up at Bonneville with a bike, and we run it. And then we've got to wait another year.
Yeah.
And make some changes during the year.
Well, there's not a lot of places even go test, even if you wanted to go test with it.
There's a lot of places we could test, but the CHP would be chasing.
That's what I was talking about. And they would definitely chase you down, no doubt about it.
Act like we're teenagers again and say, who cares if the cops are behind us?
Yeah, right. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I know exactly what you mean. Well, the thing of it is, and I think that's part of the fun of the sport. I played around with SCCA, sleeping in the back of a pickup truck, eating bologna cheese sandwiches until they're coming out my ears. But it's all part of it. It's almost the journey, not so much, where you're going. It's how you're getting there.
Yeah, like I said, the first year we went to Bonneville, so a lot of teams have got these big motorhomes and stuff. We slept in a tent,
sure,
on the ground, and it just takes me back to all these old photographs you see in these hot rod magazines.
Yeah.
Of these guys sleeping in their old roadsters or under their roadsters, under a tumbleweed.
Wow.
And it's kind of.
So my idea of roughing it is when I say I forget the remote control for that 45-foot motorhome with 7 slides.
Got to deal with black and white TV in the motel room. No, so we were sleeping on the ground in a tent that blew away.
Really?
Yeah.
We found it, but
yeah.
We, as far as testing goes, Dave Campbell over in Santee, BMW shop lets us use his dynos on Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we are able to test.
Over at Motorcycle Services of San Diego, he did a great job.
Cool. Well, that's at least you got that, so you could.
But see, Bonneville, people think that Bonneville. There's so many people that say, "Oh, you're going to Bonneville," and they go, "Yeah," and they go, "Well, what do you turn?" You tell them, and they go, "Well, I've got this 15,000 cubic inch Harley Davidson, and I could do that." And they don't realize what it's like to go up 4,000 or 5,000 feet and be on salt. In the morning, it's crackling under your feet, and by 10 o'clock, it's like slush, like we're riding on a Slurpee.
Well, and see, and you're absolutely right, because nobody talks about the elevation. And elevation in motorsports is a killer.
Exactly.
And I'm surprised you're still running a computer on the bike. Is that mandated?
Well, it's a fuel-injected motorcycle, so we have to have some way.
So you have to have some way to.
But the problem is they make nothing for the computer. So what we have to do is we have to lie to the computer as to what we're doing.
Sure. Yeah, because if you don't fool it, it'll never do what you want it to do.
That's right.
And that's an art in itself.
Oh, well, I've got hours and hours and hours in this goofy computer.
Yeah.
So.
And you'd rip it out and throw it away in a heartbeat if you thought you'd get away with it. Because if you went carbureted after you had to hand make custom intake manifolds and carburetors at a tune of X amount of dollars, then you'd be in a totally different class.
Well, we could still, as long as we had the blower on it, we could still be in the same class.
Oh, okay.
But those injectors, we've got them working real well.
Yeah. Don't break it now. You finally got them figured out.
Yeah, this last test run, we dyno test. It was running good. Oh, it was running great. I was just amazed at. It didn't spit, sputter, or nothing. It just wanted to pull and pull and pull. And I was standing off to the side, and I saw Jacob tap Dave over there. And he said, cut it off. We don't want to blow this up now.
Don't you hate dynos?
Yeah, I hate them.
I hate those things. And it gets me. Have you ever noticed how guys all like to stand around a car that's going to 9,000 RPM? That's like when they get around together and say, hey, let's blow up an engine. Then they stand around it. What are you, freaking crazy? What if Rod comes through and takes all your feet off? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. But even then, I don't think I've ever wanted to stand around somebody's engine that they were trying to purposely blow up.
Oh, I know. No, we don't run it that hard on the dyno, but it did give us an idea that
Gave
we
you an
wouldn't
idea
have
where you're
misfire.
going.
Exactly.
Well, that's all you're looking for. You just want a nice, smooth power band that's going to get you from 0 to whatever speed you're looking at with no hiccups.
Well, it changes. Every run at Bonneville changes. You're going to go as fast as that salt
Allows you
what
to.
they'll give you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Mother Nature. She's going to say, you know what, Baggo? You ain't going this fast.
That's right.
And the bike is no different than the last run.
Yeah, that place throws a storm at you. It creates its own weather during the day. And like I said, our fastest run, we were sitting in line, and it was hot. It was muggy. And as we started to pull in to make the run, a thunderstorm came in. And we got off the line, and they closed the course because the lightning on the salt flats is very dangerous.
Oh, yes.
And that was our fastest run ever on that bike in what I would consider some terrible conditions.
Wow.
Nobody else would go. And you asked me about Jacob. Nobody else would go, and he went.
Oh, I'll go. Well, he's a kid. Where do you think no fear came from?
That's what Jill came in. So Jill said she rides an Indian up there, and she said she'd go.
Well, of course. Well, it's those kids. See, they don't know no fear. I'm telling you, you and I used to be like that, but we're too old. Hey, we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we got... Okay, welcome back. You're listening to ST Motorsports. I'm Dave. Cheryl's off tonight. The segment's brought to you by CCC Motorsports. Right there at 11370 North Woodside Avenue in Santee. CertifiedCarCare.net if you're looking for all your automotive needs, everything from dyno tuning to actually working on a hybrid. That's right. They're not taking on hybrid cars since a lot of the Priuses are now rolling out of warranty. 619-444-7170. We got Jake Bagnell in the house along with Randy Chenoweth, and they're part of BAGGO Racing, BAGGORacing.com. It is a Bonneville Land Speed record attempt. Jake and Randy been working on it with a whole crew for about 2 years. Went to Bonneville last year, missed the record they're looking for by just a smidge, so they're going back again. And one of the things we haven't really talked about is the suspension that's on that bike. Like, as you had said, Jake, nothing on that bike, you can't go down and buy it anywhere. It all has to be handmade. What did you do on the suspension that actually enhanced this project, and who helped you? Well,
let's start with the front forks. The front forks come out of England, along with the rear wheel. And Billy Himmel at Hagen Shocks helped me with the front springs. We designed them so they would go over stutter bumps. Probably used 2 to 3 inches of travel. We also hand-built a monoshock. It's also a Hagen shock on the rear. And that helped our rear suspensions, fully adjustable front and rear, and then we run 14 pounds of hydrogen or nitrogen in the front forks. So that helps a lot.
How do you know how to set that rear suspension up? I mean, you just go out and you tell Jacob, your son, hang on, and then tell me what you think when you come back?
Well, that's part of it. He's got to be the finish. That's the end of it. That's the finishing touch.
Okay.
If it's too rigid, the back end wants to come around on you. Just like if you had too heavy of a sway bar or something like that in a Mustang or Camaro, it wants to come around. The front will literally beat you to death. And then you can tell also when you do start slowing down. But it just depends on the salt.
So basically, every time you go, you just learn something more every time you go and adjust accordingly. And like you said, you want to adjust to optimum. You don't want to fall off the other side.
That's true. You learn every time you go, but it's really hard with the salt because the salt isn't like asphalt. It'd be easier to run on asphalt than it is on the salt.
Yeah, it changes by the hour.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever driven the bike or ridden the bike?
I've ridden it, but not on the salt.
Not at speed?
Yes, not at speed.
We can't let Randy because he'll put grooves in the salt.
Yeah.
They have these things. Oh, look, there Randy's gone down the track. Hey, I understand they're not using the black line anymore.
No, we gave up on it. They used to use like an oil base, and now
can you imagine pouring oil on
But
That's environmentally safe.
But I'll tell you what's weird about the whole thing. There's an association called Save the Salt.
Okay.
And what they're trying to do is put thousands of tons, literally, of salt back on, and the Bureau of Land Management is fighting them. So we're trying to restore the salt, and the federal government is trying to stop us.
And you're not asking the federal government to pay for this.
No, there's no money at all. We have there's a company that is trying to. They've got tons and tons and tons of salt, and they want to give it to us and truck it over there,
Sure.
and they won't allow it.
Yeah, they want to truck it out and put like 6 inches of salt down, and they said, well, we've got to do an environmental study on what you're going to do. What's going to happen if you put salt on salt?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, if I was putting pepper on the salt,
Yeah,
maybe
so
I could
a little
see it.
oregano on the side, so we'll make some.
You know what? What is up with our? And we voted these people in.
It's our government.
Were we sleeping?
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes you wonder.
Yep.
Well, I will tell you this because you know I'm dead serious. Get those people if they want to do something in San Diego, close to Bonneville. If they want to come to KUSI, we'll bring your bike back down and we'll talk about the errors of their ways. Not the group, but the people that are trying to stop.
Save the Salt Foundation. I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus,
get Russ Ayers over here. So he'd go on for a while.
Oh,
about
no,
that.
Russ Ayers, he's got a 33 1/3 long plain mouth. That guy just talks and talks, but I love him to death. But
Russ
man,
is great. I love Russ.
he just talks, and he's great now. Yeah, he's yeah. But God, that's just every time I hear something like that, it just you just
Drives
want
you nuts.
Yeah, it just drives you nuts. So, would you say right now, other than funding, the bike is pretty much where you want it, or you still got
at this point?
We
We weren't able to go this last year, so I've lost a year.
Oh.
So what we were going to do this last year, we're going to do this year.
Okay,
And then we'll go from there.
I see. Yeah. Well, you can't jump because you don't have any data.
Well, that's the thing. And I don't want to go too far because then if you go too far, you don't know where to back up to.
You know, that's like I tell people all the time, and you'll agree with this 100%. If you're going to build anything that has any performance whatsoever, you have to start with a baseline, which is usually a dyno. I mean, that's the easiest way. You get a dyno pull, find out what your engine's got, find out how the horsepower is at the crankshaft, at the rear wheel. Then whatever goal you're going for, now you got a baseline.
Exactly.
But I agree with you 100%. I cannot stand dyno pulls. Man, I go down to CCC Motorsports. We have an event, and they'll set. In fact, I had the new Corvette C7, and he begged me to put that thing on the dyno. And I purposely called my factory guy, and I says, "You don't want me to put this on the dyno, do you?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "No." I go, "Okay, thank you." And I hung up.
Well, I'm really lucky with Dave because Dave is really good with our bike.
Well, yeah, and he's not going to abuse. Well, they don't abuse them.
It isn't that. I know what you're saying. They can destroy a motor in seconds.
Very quickly, yeah.
You know, well, yeah, I know. I mean, I don't care how much you tie them down. They don't have that same inertial weight factor, you know. I mean, it's almost like a freewheeling motor. And you know as well as I do, freewheeling engine, I mean, you don't know where the limit is on that.
No, it'll destroy them.
I don't care what the tach says. That tachometer is for a car weighing 2 ton, and it's sitting down and everything, all that's holding it down. But you put it on, I don't care how much you tie a bike to a dyno or a car. I don't know if you get the same downforce.
I don't think so.
All right. So BAGGORacing.com, BAGGO.com, looking for sponsorship.
Yeah, we could really use some help if anybody out there.
I think we
Anybody
should.
wants to join in. Some people don't think they can sponsor a race team. Well, you can go on our website and become part of our little fan club. We've got the Bonneville Beach Club. You can go on there and donate $10, $20, whatever you want. It goes straight toward our race fund.
Yeah.
And Dave Stahl here, he's the king of the beach.
That's right. So that means I have to go out and start generating money. So I'm definitely going to go out and do it. I wish the motorcycle was worth something.
Yeah. And like
I can't go to this guy and say, "Hey, we got this matchless here," but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a Honda, and it's not a Yamaha, and it's not a this. It's a BAGGO.
Yeah, through this process, we've had a little bit of help. So Ben Calishow at Go Car Wash in Santee, he's given us some money, and he's helped out. Mark Beaudry, he's helped us out a little bit. He's a good friend of ours from the San Diego Mustang Club.
Oh, yeah.
And the folks over at GPR, they built a great front stabilizer for the front of this bike. It worked fabulous. And Lauren Black down there, he helped us on that. We went down to talk to him, and he set up and he built our stabilizer right in front of us.
Wow.
And so, I mean, that was just great.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an event on KUSI, and we'll sell like $5 a signature or $10 a signature. Give them a big fat felt pen and just start signing their names on the side of the bike. Charge them $5 for it. How cool is that? Hey, we got to hit the road, folks. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this show as much as we've enjoyed giving it to you. Have a great, great holiday season, and I'll be back Sunday and on KCBQ and Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on KUSI. Have a good one, folks.